We're learning life, embracing love, managing marriage, maneuvering in ministry, and managing money. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It podcast.
What's up, and welcome to Let's Talk About It podcast with myself, Tonya Harden. Listen, I am super excited today about our guests that are going to be rocking out with us. We're going to be talking about a topic that I think is very necessary when it comes to women supporting other women. You got women out here that are hating on women, that are dogging women out, talking about women, all of that great stuff. But I have some ladies with me, and you'll learn more about them. So just kind of listen if you're listening. If you're watching on social media, what's up, what's up, what's up? You're watching this later, so join the podcast so you can get it first. But we're going to be talking and we're discussing, women supporting women, the importance of women supporting women and how to really walk out with a woman with no jealousy, no strife, no nothing, just doing it to support one another and growing together. So I got some ladies with me. I'm going to start off first and introduce one to you that I have been rocking out with for a minute. I don't even know how long we've been knowing each other, but we're going to talk about it. But I'm going to add her on. Her name is Lady Trivia Payne. What's up, Lady Payne?
What's up? I'm just excited.
Lady Payne, how long we been knowing each other?
Over a year now.
Over a year. We met last year. Okay.
I just picked up 3 of your books today.
Oh my God, thank you.
Yes.
Awesome. So tell them a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and tell them where you're from and about yourself, and then what do you do?
Okay. I'm not going to remember nothing you just said, but I'm going to work it out.
Tell them about yourself and where you're from. Let's start there.
Okay.
Where you're from.
I am Trivia Payne, Lady Trivia Payne, Dr. Trivia Payne, Pastor Trivia Payne, whatever you want to call me, I am Trivia Payne. Born and raised in Baltimore, I am the founder and CEO of Bondage to Grace Connections, which is a nonprofit for youth affected by incarceration in Baltimore. I am also the founder of Trivia's Inspirational Radio Network, which is now not only streamed on internet radio, but we are streamed on all social media platforms, as well as over 18 different podcasts. And new as of yesterday, we are streaming on Roku TV. So we are no longer just a radio, we are a network.
I love it.
And I do so many things outside of being a mother and a wife of a pastor. I just do things that bring platforms to other people. I believe that God brought us here to win souls for his kingdom. And with all that I can do, my job here on earth is to win souls for his kingdom.
Awesome sauce, man. Listen, you're going to have to connect with her on all platforms. I know she's on Facebook, Instagram. We'll leave that information for you later. But I wanted to introduce her. Me and her she was a part of my mentorship and different things that I've done, as well as sharing her platform with me. And I just thank her for being on the show, being a part of what we're talking about today. So welcome, Lady Trivia. Thank you for being here. No problem. I'm also add, I just met this lady, and she is and here's the crazy thing, both of y'all are pastor wives. So that just makes it even better. I met her, and I'm going to have her come on, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself and about who she is. So tell them about yourself and who you are.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here today. My name is Lady Robin Lee Mcghee. I am from New Jersey, born and raised in Cliffwood, New Jersey, and I have now relocated to Red Bank, New Jersey, where my husband is now pastor of the Calvary Baptist Church. A little bit about me. I'm one of those people that, they say the jack of all trades, master of none. That's this girl right here.
I love it.
A little bit of everything. I love to decorate. I event planning. I'm an organizer. Every time somebody wants to do something, this is the one. But I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I think, it's so funny as we were moving into my husband was moving into the pastorship, and you kind of think about, okay, well, what does that say about me? Like, what am I supposed to do? But it's so funny how God does things and you don't even notice He's doing it. I promise you, all through coming up through the church, I have had almost every job in the church. So, because you think you're not good enough and you're not prepared, and then I had to look back and like, wow, but I did this, I had all these jobs, and it was not realizing He was preparing me,
right?
So that I do believe that I have been well prepared for the position that He has placed me in, and so I keep myself busy doing whatever my husband needs, whatever the church needs. Right, currently I am displaced from my job, I will say. As I said earlier, happily, for now. I know in due time I will need to get back to work doing something, but I'm waiting for the Lord to tell me what that something is, as He's shifting things in my life. And so that's just where I am right now. I was telling Lady Harden when she came on my show, I have a platform on Facebook called the True Talk Soiree. Say to me, why do you call it the soiree? Well, if you look up the definition of a soiree, it's not just a party. It's also when you get together to have conversation. Yes. And I like to have conversation with folks. So that is what I named it, because I want to be true to myself. I want to be true to God. So anything that we discuss on that platform, I want it to be true, be open and honest, and so you can't go wrong when you're telling the truth.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
True, you don't have to go back, you don't have to backtrack nowhere. And so that was how I came up with that name.
And it's always a party when you're telling the truth.
Right.
Exactly. So Lady Harden, I told her I was stalking her for a while on her platforms, and then so eventually I finally, tiptoed on out, and I reached out to her, and she was a guest on my platform, which I was very thankful for. And all my guests was so like clamoring, like, when's she coming back? So we gotta have you back. But so today here I am, and I'm so thankful to be here.
Yes, we met I think a couple of months ago. Me and her met, and I think we've been kind of going back and forth on social media for about a year or two. But she is she's doing some things in her area, and I thank God for the divine connection. The reason why I have these ladies on here, on Let's Talk About It podcast, we talk about life, love, marriage, ministry, and money, because these are the areas that everyone is experiencing something in, right? But what I realized with you two, to bring you on, and I'm having a couple of people come on the show and to discuss different things, I thought about you two because, number one, when you're out here, especially in the social media world, and you're just doing what God told you to do, right? You're just sharing principles, sharing content, just doing. I remember God told me in 2015, start a YouTube page. I said, what and how, when and where? Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I just started sharing stuff that I was already sharing, like you said, Lady Robin, sharing stuff that I had already learned throughout the years. I just took what I learned in church and brought it to the social media platform. And so doing so, you never know who you may touch. You never know who's listening. You never know who's paying attention. And I would tell anyone, if God told you to do it, do it. Don't just do it because everybody else is doing it, but you do it because this is what God told you to do. In the pandemic, I think everybody and their uncle started doing something on social media because, we brought up in the church, don't do that, baby. Or people say in church, social media is the devil. No, it's about how you use it.
Right.
And doing so, this is how I met these two amazing ladies, was through social media. Didn't have no idea that they were listening to what God was giving me to share. And then they turn around, and there's nothing like nobody have to listen to you. First of all, let me just say that. Don't nobody have to listen to your radio show. Don't nobody have to listen to your sorry. They don't have to listen. But when they do, there's an appreciation that you have, right? For it. And so with that, you turned around and asked me to be a part of yours. And I know I think both of you were like, will you be able? Yes, I will. I have no problem. You don't have to pay me nothing. I appreciate you for bringing me on that. And so what I realized, I started watching y'all more. And I noticed I wasn't the only one that y'all did this for. You also did this and paved a way. Because here's the thing about social media. I'm going to say this real quick. Is that when you share me on your platform, it allows people on my platform to know you.
Absolutely.
And people on your platform to, it's called networking.
Absolutely.
Come here, Glory.
Yeah.
In the business world, it's called networking. And so because y'all did that, y'all showed me the importance of making sure you network with other women, right?
Absolutely.
So my question to you is, because women are catty, come here, because we are fickle, y'all heard me say we, right? Come here, everybody listening, I said we.
You talk about them. You're not talking about us.
Because we're fickle and because we're catty and because y'all have all these amazing things that y'all are doing, what made you say, let me reach out to this woman, or let me start something for women? Let's start there. That's my first question. What made you say, let me start something for women? I'm gonna start with you, Lady Robin, and then I'm gonna go to Lady Trivia.
Okay. Well, for me, for years, I had the desire to connect with other pastors' wives, because I felt, I don't know, I just felt like it was hard for us to connect for some reason. I mean, I know there's literally, when I became a first lady, I literally had to go find other first ladies. I mean, I knew a few, I knew some, but I'm going to get in trouble for saying this. Association, in different associations, you know what I'm saying? They have their agenda, like, okay, we're going to do this. That's not what I was looking for. I didn't want to go work somewhere else. If you understand what I'm saying, I wanted my camaraderie. I wanted to be able to talk with another first lady who knows what's going on and the ins and the outs of pastoring people, and that's what I was looking for. And I really didn't feel that in the association that we were in at the time. And so I had always had a desire to kind of be able to link up and connect with other first ladies. So I legitimately had to leave my area and go out and find, groups of women that I could connect with. And so that was really what started it, because I felt like first ladies have something to say too, because even in other realms that I was, other circles, it's, the pastor, not that we need accolades, please don't get me wrong. Right. But when I come in the door with my husband, don't just say, recognize him when I'm standing right next to him.
Well, listen. Okay. Right.
You hear what I'm saying? It's not that I need to be, you know what I'm saying? It's not that. But I mean, you learn that just as common courtesy with anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. And so things like that. And I'm like, well, why? We have voices, we have things, and it's, always these people, this group of people, but the pastor's wives are over here supposed to just sit and look pretty. Okay, that's not how I'm built.
Right.
God built me to be a worker. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm not just supposed to be sitting there with my hands crossed, my legs crossed, and being quiet. Right. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we know how to pray.
Right.
Do you hear me? Every service don't have to be stacked full of men. We got something to say too. And so I just felt like we need a voice. We need a platform.
Yeah. That's
really how it started. That's how, and then I kind of branched out to other people, and but I do still have first ladies on as well. So
I love it. Thank you so much. That's amazing, and that's scary, but also at the same time,
love. Okay, and I'm not that. Legitimately, I don't know a face in the building, but I'm here. Yeah. But it allowed me to meet a lot of awesome women, that are friends of mine now, Yeah. But that's how it started for me.
What about you, Lady Trivia? How did it start? What made you do all this that you're doing for women and bringing them together?
I'm gonna use some of your words, but I'm gonna use it Baltimore style. I was ratchet. I was ruthless. God called me to this pastor wife thing that I had no clue about, and I was like, okay, who can I turn to? Yeah. And I started looking to the older pastor wives, and I felt like God wasn't allowing them to connect with me. And I felt like I was sitting in this room like an ant on a wall, and nobody wants to be bothered. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And I think I was at the breaking point. I ain't want nothing to do with this thing called being a pastor's wife. I think I started just cursing people out and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, it's not good.
Sorry.
It's not good for man to be alone, but it's not good for me to be in this position. So I had to ask God to help do something.
Wait, I want to pause because she is the first. She was the when we had the mentorship thing and you was the first. I heard of other pastor wives that would tell people off, but you were the first. Like, no, I didn't just tell them off. I cussed them out. I'm like, wait, but I understand. You know, I've never been that, but I understood because I had so many other people that would come to me and say that without saying it out loud. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. and I said some choice words. You was like, no, I cussed them out.
I said like, curse words, and I walked away, and I'm like, oh God, why did I do that?
Yes.
But I realized I had so much anger being built up from being a pastor's wife that was my only outlet. But I realized it was another way.
Yeah. I love it.
So God was growing me. Absolutely. Yes. He was growing me through the process because I still had that same old trib, baby T going on. And I was crossing into the world of being in leadership in ministry. And it was a fine line. But I was praying and everybody I was going to was not helping me. And I felt like I was just backed into a wall. And one day, my aunt, who was a pastor, called me like at my breaking point. It was like, we're going to start this pastor's wife club. And I was like, wow. But as soon as that started, the enemy, of course, had to throw a wrench in it. And I had to step away. But I still stayed in contact and I was the baby and I was still trying to keep everything together. But I felt like God was still saying not so, because the more I, in my own strength, was trying to keep these ladies together, God was doing other things in the ministries and everything. So I started a pastor. Well, my thought was I was going on the radio to start a pastor's wife chat. And that never happened. And I'm like, God, you're telling me this, but it's not doing what I wanted to do. So by the time I met Pastor Harden, I was starting my own radio show, my own radio station. I had it for a year. And I was reaching out and something happened when I went on the Pastor's Wife Connect. I never knew that there were social medias that had these groups out there. And her group was one of like 3 groups that I signed up for. And I'm being all timid. I'm like, is it okay if I interview you on my station? And her show was, her Facebook was shut down some kind of way. She couldn't get on there.
Right.
And when she reached out to me, I was like, wow, the person that's in charge of this group is reaching out to me. Wait a minute. And when we met, it was just a sign of relief, because I knew at that point God was giving me the okay to talk about who I am as a person, not just being behind the screen, watching everybody going through what I'm going through, but nobody can hear because we're in all different places. And I actually had a pastor's wife connected to me tell me, we mind our business. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
And I didn't feel like it was an outlet that you can have that kind of conversation, because by now I can't talk to anybody. Anybody that I tried to talk to, if they didn't go back and tell my husband or use it against me, it was like they just shied away. And it was like, okay, well, where is the place for pastor wives?
Yeah.
But everything about the Pastor's Wife connection was just like, be who you are, be free to be you, and walk in it. And since then, God has opened up so many doors. When I tell you, and we'll probably talk about this later, God set me down from work that I can't go to work, but from my chair, from my computer, from technology, I'm able to reach more people than I could have ever met working a full-time job. And that's what fulfills me right now, because he's allowed me to step out on faith. And I do it scared. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
When somebody say, can you be on my show? I'm like, okay. Can you write in my book? I'm like, okay. And I'm doing it nervously. And I'm going to finish with this. I just got finished writing in a book called All the Preacher Wives. And as I was writing in this book, and it was like 20 pastor wives coming together to talk about their experiences. We were doing Facebook Lives and the one that I can't even think of it, but we were doing all of these interviews, and I was listening to the wives say, "Well, my husband," and I went to my husband and I got approval for my husband, and I'm sitting here still in the same mindset. Mind you, I'm not free yet.
Right.
I was like,
I love it.
I don't need his approval. I'm going to write this book.
Yeah.
But the more I did it, the more God said, no, you need to do it in order. You need to have reverence behind what you're doing. And I shared it with my husband. And when I tell you the way he received it was just a blessing, because I didn't care. But now it opened up a door like, okay, you have to care. If I'm going to put you on this platform to speak to other pastor wives, to talk about your experience, you have to be respectful and obedient, submissive. Now, I'm not
Right.
going to say obedient, but submissive to your husband's needs. And I received that
Yeah.
completely. But the book came out and it was a blessing.
Amen.
I love it. That's
I love that. I love that. But wait, can I just say one thing?
Yes,
When
please.
you said, the woman said, the first lady said they mind their business.
Mm.
I'm telling you, you know, my sister and my mom, when I say this, they get mad. Like, you shouldn't say that. I swear, I'm telling you, I feel like some first ladies, it's like the mafia. You know how the wife she know everything, but they close mouth. They're not gonna tell you nothing.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And it's
Right.
like, what?
Absolutely.
How am I supposed to get help? You know what I mean? If I'm reaching out to you because I don't know what I'm doing, I need to learn. Who gonna teach me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this is what I learned. The Holy Spirit teach me.
Yes.
So I follow my husband's lead.
Yeah.
You know,
And God will send you. I always say this when it comes down to, you know, what you need, God will always send you what you need.
Yeah.
When you need it. You know what I'm saying? Because I always say this, there's power in partnership. And I know that's why with what y'all already do, there's power in partnership, because you learn the power of connecting with other people that got you in a book with 20 other pastor wives. You know what I mean? That's power in partnership. So even though there's some women that do mind their business, so I am in the mind my business ministry, but I learned too that there's a lot of stuff that I just love to give away. You know what I'm saying? My wisdom, my experience, because I don't think those tears were for nothing. I don't think that pain was for nothing. No. And then there's some things that I just allowed for people to invest in with the things that I give away. And that investment, baby, is so worth it. I pray that when you leave, that you leave with some information that is so deep, and it reminds me of why I went through that. That was so necessary, and that was so needed for my now. So listen,
that mind your business ministry is needed. But again, there's that part that so many pastor wives wouldn't fail if other pastor wives were not in that position of go learn it on your own. Let the Holy Spirit feed you and lead you. Because some of us are not mature enough to let the Holy Spirit lead us. And yeah, we should go through the bumps and bruises. I'm not saying that, but be willing to share your experience so that other people don't have to go through it.
Right. And when you share it, don't sugarcoat it. I mean, I know I've spoken to some of the younger pastors' wives have reached out to me, and they're, you know, and it start off a little conversation. We on the phone, end up being on the phone for 2 hours, you know, because once I get going, you know, and they're asking this and they're asking this, nobody else will tell us this. I'm so glad that you're so open, you know, and I feel like that's a shame. I mean, I feel like we all supposed to be sharing. How are we you're gonna lead them out there by themselves if they're reaching out to you?
Right.
You know, I'm not saying this, you do this. No, but you share your experiences and don't sugarcoat and have them thinking something is not.
I love. And see, I think that's why I love pastors. When God told me to start Pastor's Wife Connection, for every listener, if you are a pastor's wife, join Pastor's Wife Connection group on Facebook. The times that I do have to go, well, actually, I'm going live this Thursday, but I go live every Thursday. I try to do 8 p.m., but we're working on that. But I do go live every Thursday, and this Thursday is at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. But this is what I found out. God told me, start the group because you are raw, because you are different. and because you don't mind sharing those sticky moments. I think I did a live last month, and on that live, man, I was broken, but I had to push through this live and share my experience because it was still fresh. It had been months after it happened, but God was dealing with me, deal with it now, because there's a pastor's wife that needs to hear, and it was dealing with staff in the church. And so I had to deal with that. And doing so allowed another pastor's wife to reach out for guidance and for direction. So it is important to share those things that you're going through. But if God ain't tell you to share it, you better mind your business and shut up.
Absolutely.
But if God told you to share it, you share it. And the reason why I say that, because pastor wives, okay, y'all don't get mad at me, but I'm about to say something.
You are absolutely right. Go ahead.
Pastor wives are known to getting in everybody's business at the church. Mind your business at the church. But when it comes to the things that you need to speak life into, do that.
Yes.
That is necessary. I don't answer unless you ask. If you ask, I'll give you everything you need.
Right.
But if you don't ask, that's between you and the Lord. And you have women out here that are asking. Tell your story. Tell your testimony. If you don't do anything else, tell your testimony. We're living by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. So we got to be willing to tell our testimony.
And our testimony. Go ahead, go. Because I can go ahead and stay on this topic forever. Because I was getting ready to say, when you tell your testimony, that testimony will sometimes convict the pastor's wife. Because until somebody told me that I was wrong, I thought I was right. I'm telling you.
That's good.
And not to say everybody else was right, but I knew where I wasn't right. But it wasn't until somebody told me. So I agree with that one.
Yeah,
I can say that forever.
Yeah, and you know what? It is wisdom. Wisdom and discernment. If we follow the discernment, then we know just how far we can go. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm gonna give you a little something, but I can't go too deep.
Right.
You know what I mean? And and I know everybody's like, oh, transparency. Okay, you can be transparent, but everybody don't need to know every little detail.
That part.
You know what I mean?
That part.
You have to know.
Here's the thing: you'll know when to tell that detail,
right,
when it's important, when it's necessary, and when it's needed for that particular person. Because I think we as pastor wives, we can just we have vomit at the mouth sometimes, and when the Lord told us to be quiet, but we started talking, and this is where we're supposed to stop, the conversation, because that's not needed for them yet.
Right.
Catch that word. Yet, because they're not there yet. But I promise you, Grandma say live long enough. You'll get there, and you're gonna need me for that part of your life. All right. So my next question: how do you choose these particular women to be a part of your platform? What makes you say, okay, I want to choose her, or I want them on my platform? Because what makes you say that? What makes you go that route? Is it something that you pray about, or is it? Well, we know you pray. I get that part, but what really makes you kind of choose different people?
For me, it is the topic.
Okay.
And the Holy Spirit will say this person. Like, I was making a phone, when I was tossing of who I'm having next week, and I'm like, but I felt like I knew what I was supposed to be doing, but I wasn't sure. It was tossed between two things. So I'm a little late on what I'm normally doing, so I had to make that phone call this morning. But generally, it depends. For me, it depends on the topic.
Okay,
depends on the topic.
That's good, because I know there's a woman that's listening and they're trying to figure out how to start. I always say that the type of people that God sends me or that listen to the things that I do is either starting something, or they're in the middle of something and needing direction for that, or they are on the break of birthing out another baby. See, I love to birth out babies. Yeah. Spiritually, I love to see, especially pastor wives, I love to see birthing take place. Oh, I didn't just shift it. Oh, I felt the glory. I love to see birthing take place. So that makes me excited to that person that's listening, that's thinking about starting. These are some women that just, let me ask you. Oh, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna write that down. When did you start? Tell me when you started, Lady Robin.
I want to say, what is this, 23? I think I've been doing it about a year and a half, 2 years. 2 years.
So and how long you been? You say last year, right, Lady Trivia?
No, I actually started in the heart of the pandemic.
Oh, wow. 2020. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't even know that the pandemic was going to hit and I signed my contract to start hosting.
Oh,
And
wow.
it like my contract, I signed my contract in February. The pandemic hit in March, and I was like, what am I going to do? And it shifted my whole platform.
So you had to
But
pivot. You had to pivot.
I had to pivot. And then to answer your question,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even do my pastor's wife chat the way that I thought I would. I just let God send me who, and it's really about relationships.
Okay.
And when I say relationships, when I first met you, I think I spent like 2 months just going back watching all of your YouTube videos.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it was like day after day after day. And I knew that God was speaking to me. And the people that He's placing in my life right now are people who He said now is the relationship time. Because before, I didn't like anybody. I mean, I was not a people's person. It didn't matter who you were. If you were my friend and another friend came along, I didn't want to introduce you to that other friend in ministry or anything else. And now it's like, no, it's relationships. I'm putting people in your life that all of these relationships are going to connect. And when I do go on live and do a podcast, or when I go on my radio station and do a show, it's because that relationship has built and I'm comfortable enough with having a real conversation.
Gotcha. So, in other words, you had to get out of your comfort zone of being
Yes.
an introvert almost to an extrovert.
I'm still not extroverted quite yet, but that's where that relationship building comes in, because the only way that I feel comfortable, I'll talk to anybody, but not on an intimate level. And when you're talking about being a pastor's wife, you really have to have some intimacy there,
Right.
because everybody can't receive what it is that you have to talk about. And to be honest, you can't receive everything that everybody has to talk about as a pastor's wife. So for me, it's relationship building, that intimate side of it.
I love it. I tell people all the time, when you start a year or you start in a season of your life, there should always be a vision, of course, but there should also be a word that you are building from. For an example, my word this year is to cultivate, Lord, not cultivate, to, oh my God, capitalize. I had to look at my vision board. To capitalize everything that God has given me. And I'm hearing relationship is what's important in this season for you, to build not just networking, but to build relationships. And I think that is an important key to any visionary. Ooh, hear me. Listen, any person that is doing vision, this is what y'all are doing. You are women that are creating vision. You're birthing out vision through other people by using them to use their gift, but you're also using your own gift. So my question to you, in the meantime of you creating these gifts, is it pulling that thing that you had no idea that was resting in you?
Yes. My
Lady,
Lord, my Lord.
Lady Rob. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I just got finished writing because I'm getting ready to be in an article. And that was one of those questions. They didn't ask that question directly, but my final result was, I always knew I was going to be a motivational speaker. Hands down, didn't know what it was going to take for me to get to it. But through that process, I'm starting to tell people I'm checking off somebody else's bucket list, because what I'm doing now is not what I ever thought I was going to be doing. Writing books, being an entrepreneur, really hearing and sensing God saying motivational speaker was just what you understood back then, but I'm calling you to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I'm like, wait a minute. So it's really pulling me out of a place that, being a mother of 5 children, by the time I was 25, I could never imagine being here today. Never.
So you don't look like.
I don't look like what I've been through, and I don't look like where I'm going to.
All right. I love it.
Yeah. What about you, Lady Robin?
I love it. Okay, now let me hear that question again.
So my question is, you're doing what you're doing. You're helping other people, and that's great. So I always throw a curveball if you don't know me. And you doing what you're doing. And I may not ask the question the same, but what is this doing for you that is because there's a listener out there don't realize that you feel like you're doing this for others, but it really has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with the gifts and the things that's on the inside of you. So my question is, what are those things that it has pulled out of you? Has it pulled some stuff out of you that you never thought that would ever happen by you doing things that you're doing now?
You know what? Well, like I said, I had the desire to do something with the pastors' wives for a while, but fear is something else, right?
Ain't it? Yeah.
Oh my God, it's crippling.
Yes, it is.
It'll get you. But I always was fearful because I didn't know a lot of ministers, and honestly, I really still don't know a lot. I have met some, and I have made great friends, but I still really don't know a whole lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's helped me to be more vocal, and not I don't want to say timid. I'm definitely not a timid person, but in certain realms, if you know what I mean, kind of sit back.
Yeah.
I think that was me. So I think this kind of pushed me out, stepping out kind of pushed me out and a little more comfortable speaking. I wouldn't, this right here, what we do right here, I wouldn't I'd be like, no, get this to so-and-so, get, somebody else would be way better than me. No.
Yeah.
So this right here, I think it's making me more open to opportunities and to just kind of step out and to have a voice and to give other people a voice.
So I'm about to ask a sticky question. We're going to shift, and then I got one more question and we're done. So listeners, just rock out with us. This may be section 2 to this, episode 2 to this. But my question is, what is your backlash to what you're doing? Have you experienced backlash? Have you experienced trials, tribulation? Have people said, why are you doing this? I want to know, what is the thorn in your side by doing what you're doing for others?
Yeah, it's those haters. It's those haters. Oh, she's trying to get famous. Like, are you kidding me? Like, stop it. But then you think, oh, now she's trying to get famous. She got her little thing on Facebook. And let me tell you, I don't promote my thing. When I'm about that, and I only do it once a month. I do it once a month, and then through the week I just kind of post, inspirational whatever, right? So that was never my intention. Like, oh, that's not my thing. That's not, but so that was one. Oh, and just the trolls, the ones that watch, but they don't, they're there because it pops up who's watching, but they don't think you know, and they know that, oh, we'll go back and watch later or after it's over or whatever.
Right.
The little stuff on Facebook, whatever you talk about it. Did you hear what she said? Just stuff.
Yeah.
Which I've learned to just whatever.
And I think people don't know that and it's not like you're doing it for, like I said, God told me and I just did it. Not realizing what God was doing in the process, didn't know I was writing a book, didn't know all that was going on. I was just told to do a YouTube. But I skipped YouTube and went to, it was another platform before YouTube. I mean, it was during YouTube, but it was another platform. But anyway, on this platform, I went there, so I was hiding. I didn't want to do it in front of everybody because of the naysayers. And I think here's the thing is that people don't understand that a naysayer will make you stop posting, will make you stop doing videos. I stopped for about 4 months because of the naysayers. And I wouldn't have met, if I wouldn't have went back, I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't, because it was way before the Pastor's Wife Connection. And God told me, okay, now do a group for Pastor's Wife Connection. I was like, say what now? Whoa. So it was like, it was intentional that it happened. So what about you, Lady Trivia? Do you get the backlash?
I'm going to honestly say I had that moment where it was others, but truth be told, it's now me.
I like it.
Because initially I was looking for validation from everybody. And whenever somebody would say, oh, why you doing this? Or people don't need to know your business. And I'm like, I'm just having conversation. I'm not telling my business. God took me from a place of needing validation to a place of understanding that this is his calling and this is his will. However, I most recently have gotten to a place of everybody's watching me. Everybody's watching what I'm doing and how I'm moving. And it's a supportive thing now. And as Lady Robin said, I don't want to be that person that everybody's looking at and saying she's always doing something and she's always doing she always wants to speak and she's always writing for attention, and I don't want to ever be that person. I want to remain humbled in God with everything that I'm doing. So a lot of times I push myself back because I don't know that I don't want those rejections. I don't want other people to give them to me. So I give it to myself. But I feel like the more that I do that, the more God is calling me to do something else. Like last week, I was on a summit for 2 days. And when I tell you the women and even men that showed up because I put the invite out there, and the different things that now that I'm saying, if I'm speaking or if I'm going to an event or something like that, and people are saying, well, invite me, I want to come. And I'm like, God, this is the door that you're opening for me. And sometimes it gets scary, but I'm doing everything that I'm doing scared. And somebody told me not to say that. It's not for everybody, but I'm going to be honest and transparent. Everything that I'm doing, and I have a list of things of why I do it afraid and what makes me afraid. But the reality is, as long as I do it, I know that I'm in God's will. But I think I'm my own backlash.
Yeah. I love that. That's good. And I think that's the thing that most people don't realize is that when you're doing something like this, they don't really, every time I go live, I'm afraid. Every time. I hate going live, by the way, just in case if nobody know. I hate it. I hate going live, but I do it when I'm led to do it. But here's the thing, people don't understand the fear, the doubt, and it's not in the people, it's in yourself. Am I going to do the right thing? Am I going to be judged for what I just said? Am I going to be, because this is me and this is who I am? And most people don't realize that becomes a part of those of you that want to do social media, and you want to go live on social media, and you want to post videos on social media. But I come to tell you, just do it. That's it. When you do it, you have no idea who's watching. There's videos that I will post. It may be 7 people. I don't even care. I learn if you don't learn anything else, listeners, person is watching this, learn the method of drop the mic and walk away.
Yes.
What is the method of drop the mic and walk away? You drop that video, walk away, don't go back. You don't have to go back, see who liked it, see who viewed it, whatever. And there's a whole nother method of how to schedule it on social media to where you don't even know it dropped until you look back later that night and you look on social media and it's scheduled and dropped. You got to learn to drop the mic, walk away. Whosoever will like it, they will like it. If they don't, they won't. Who's ever gonna be a troll? Let them watch. Let it be, and just keep it moving, because at the end of the day, this is you, but there's someone out there that needed a part of you that you said, not a part of anybody else. I wouldn't have connected with you guys if there wasn't something that I said on social media that made you want me to be a part of your program, or a part of what God is giving you, a part of your vision, right? That wouldn't have been something that you said that would have made me come and be a part of my vision and what God is giving me to do. So my thing is, don't stop. That's all I'm going to say about that. Whatever you're doing. And this then turned into that person that's starting a social media, hadn't it? Women supporting women on social media. But making sure you do that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because there's somebody out there that want to start. I believe that.
But and you know what?
Not? Yeah.
It used to kind of make me shy away from doing it. But one thing that I learned is, for everybody that was being naysayers and telling me what I was doing wrong, when I would walk down the street or go to an event or something like that, it was always that one person that would be like, I'm watching what you're doing and it's encouraging me. They would come in my inbox and say, what you said is motivating me. How can I be a part of going back to school? How can I? And I'm like, I used to let the naysayers control what I was doing. And now it just takes that one.
Mm.
That's
Because
it.
Jesus left the 100, the 99 and went after that one. It's that one that when I'm doing something and they're saying it's because of you that I'm moving to the next level,
Come
that's
on.
why I keep on doing what I do.
Yes.
I agree. I
Yes.
totally agree.
Yeah, and you're surprised, like you said, this I have had people approach me who I never in a million years would have thought was watching.
Right.
And I've been watching since you started. What?
Right. Really?
But it really, because you don't know, like you said, you look at the numbers, you look at most people are watching and they don't comment. You know what I mean? So it looks like, oh, there's only 2 people, only 5, 10, whatever the number is, but in reality, people are watching, they're just not popping up on the, you know what I'm saying? So you could just be surprised at how many people, and then when you get that encouraging word, you know what, this is my thing. You're always going to have, it's the enemy's job to come at us and attack us in every manner of our life, every area of our life. Right. So if we're on a platform, of course he's going to attack that too. He's going to send people to discourage you and whatever, but then God is always going to send somebody else to say, oh, I love what you're doing.
Yes.
So he's going to turn around and send that encourager. You know what I'm saying? And
every time.
All that negative stuff, how they say, miss me with that.
I love it. Miss me with that too. I'm telling you, it's life-changing for me. I love it. I just love what I do. I love to just share information. I love what I do, but I also love to see lives change. And it's nothing like, even if you don't say nothing, it's cool with me. But I heard somebody say on TikTok, I may have 2 likes, but there's over 100 and some views that are on there. Then you're like, what? But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, whosoever will, let them watch. And whoever don't, it is. All right, my last question. What are you doing next? I always say that. What are you doing next in what you're doing? I'm going to start with Lady Trivia. What you doing next?
Waiting for the next class to come.
Wait, what happened?
I'm always looking for growth.
Okay, gotcha.
That last pastor's wife class was amazing. I still stay in touch with the women. And I'm just looking to do what God wants me to do. And I don't know exactly what that is, but right now I'm in the process of writing in another book, another anthology. I'll be glad when I'm done writing with anthologies, because I told myself 2 years ago I'm not writing for nobody else. But God said not so. So the next project I'm working on is the She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically anthology. And I'm looking to have my own first vision book published by my birthday, which is in August. So those are the 2 major things that I'm working on. And by the end of the year, I plan on stepping outside of all of the other platforms, Roku TV and all of that good stuff, and adding one more platform to my network. So that's just a little bit of what I plan on doing for the rest of the year.
I love it. That was a whole lot. Yes. Yes.
I love it.
This move. Do it. You got this. You got this. Keep on going. That's awesome.
I love it.
That is awesome.
Yes.
I'm gonna come sit by you. I'm gonna come rub up against you or something. Like, what? Got a lot going on over there.
I love it. Lady Robin, what's next? What's going on next?
For me, you want to know what? This is the crazy thing. I told you that fear, right? What I tell you about that fear, it cripples me. Honest to God, it really does. But when I told you I had lost my job, when I lost my job, I found myself writing. I'm not a writer, but I found myself writing, and I wrote something, and it's been sitting there. It's just been sitting there, but I feel like God has drawn me back to it. So I do need to get back to that. And other than that, I'm just waiting for the Lord to lead me and tell me what's next. I don't know what's next, but I know He knows. So I'm just waiting on Him. But I do feel drawn back to that. Okay. So I will get back to that. But other than that, right now, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting on Him.
Awesome sauce. I love it. Congratulations to you both. Look, I'm gonna throw this pen in there. If you ever need writing, reach out to Harden Enterprise Publishing Company. We'll write, we'll publish. No, let me stop. But I thank y'all so much for being part of this my talk show. This is my first couple of episodes, and you guys are a part of my very first couple. I don't know which one is going to play first, but y'all are the second group that I have talked to. So I thank you
Amen.
so much for being on this platform with me, where we talk about life, love, marriage, and ministry. And this was more about ministry with this conversation, as well as a little bit about social media. But I wanted you guys to come because of what you do. I thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you're doing in your communities. Thank you for what you're doing on your platforms. Continue to be great in what y'all are doing. Continue to change lives. Continue to connect. There's power. I always tell people in the business world, when you network, you have net worth. Catch that. When you network, you got net worth. And as well as in ministry, to be able to build those relationships, I think that's very, very important. So I thank y'all again. Thank y'all for being a part of Let's Talk About It talk show where we are in our podcast. So thank you. I'm still learning and growing. So if there's any glitches, pray my strength that I keep growing. All right. I thank y'all for rocking out. I thank y'all for rocking out, and thank you to every listener. Join the next time. Listen to the commercial that is next. Thank y'all.